Hi, my name is Frankie. Thank you for listening to my mom. I never listen.
Welcome to Nothing But Net, Saniya Rivers, big time baller from NC State. It's so great to have you on the podcast. Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, listen, you're just killing it right now, right? NC State continues to move up in the polls. The team seems to be playing with incredible joy and passion. What do you think is the biggest difference between last year and this year, Saniya, with your team?
Uh, I don't know, but I'm whatever it is, I'm glad that it's here. Honestly, the freshmen and transfers came in right off the bat and we just gel so easily. We get along so well on and off the court. And getting along off the court only makes it easier for us to do what we're doing on the court. So hopefully we keep it going.
One of the things that I admire about your team is how hard you play. And, it looks like it's a really connected group. How do you build that kind of chemistry off the court so that you guys can carry it onto the court?
It can be as small as like a family dinner or something, just as far as like talking and actually getting to know each other, figuring out what it takes to just keep us where we are. Sometimes as a leader, I have to figure out maybe how I can help my freshmen or transfers or just teammates that were already here just to build on what their goals are, what they want to accomplish for the season. I try to pull them to the side. I try to talk to them during practice, just whatever they need, a pat on the back. So I just feel like being a leader, I have to continue to do what I'm doing off the court to make sure that they're accomplishing what their goals on the court. So
Not just being a leader on the court in terms of scoring, but you are what I call a right side of the box score kind of player because you can impact and add value in a lot of different ways: rebounds, steals, assists. Talk about the total complete package in your game and why you value that right side of the box score so much.
absolutely. I've always applauded myself on being very versatile just because, you're not going to have a 30-point game every night, 20-point game. So you have to be ready to just come in and do what you can to add to the win. So whether it's rebounding, defending on the other end, getting my teammates involved. And I think my teammates really appreciate that I'm a very unselfish player.
Yes.
I think I had a career high, like 8 assists in other games. So the goal is for me to just do whatever I can to contribute to the win. So.
One of the things that I love about watching your game is your evolution on the defensive side. I don't like to talk about defense too much tonight. That's not my game, right? Because I like to see high flying, electric, up tempo, shoot till your arm falls off, big selling
Absolutely.
players, right? Which I
Yeah.
would put you in those categories. But your defensive effort, I mean, you're going to be considered for defensive player of the year in the league. You're going to be considered on another platform that maybe you hadn't thought about with your own game. When people start talking about your ability to impact on the defensive end, what comes to mind?
It means a lot because I've always been told like high school that I was like an offensive player. I didn't really do much on the defensive end, but now that I'm being talked about for, defensive player of the year, it's an amazing feeling because I never thought that I'd be in the conversation for it. But I'm long, I'm lanky, I can block a shot, I can get in the passing lane, get a steal. So it feels
Yeah.
good to be in the conversation.
You're a legacy. Your sister Nana Rivers played
Mhm.
at NC State during a time when NC State was really good, and you're back at it doing a similar thing. What does it mean to you that your sister takes so much pride in being a part of the Wolfpack women and the history of the game and the history of NC State that you've been able to carry the Rivers name forward?
It makes me happy. It makes me even happier that she's still on this journey with me. We talk almost every day. She's at every game. She's right up the street in Durham. It just feels good that we have that connection, and just to know that she played here before me. I'm just glad that I continue to be on the path that she helped pave. So
You came out of Wilmington, out of Laney High School. Everybody knows Laney from Michael Jordan. How are you going to make everybody know Laney for Saniya Rivers?
whew, comparing to Michael Jordan, I just got to keep going. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. Make sure that I'm continuing to go home, support the community that helped support me, help me get here. And I think one day people will know Laney because of Saniya Rivers. So yeah,
I know that's a tough question because that's a hard comparison. Nobody
it
wants to
is
be
a tough
compared
one.
to MJ. Uh, the schedule in the ACC, it's
Yeah.
challenging. It's not easy, right? The wins in the league are tough. What do
Absolutely.
you enjoy the most about competing in the ACC?
That's a good question too. Uh, you're just always gonna get a good game. Even if you go in there and win the game, maybe by 20 or whatever, the game is always gonna be good. I think my favorite game so far has been Virginia Tech. Just going over there, playing in front of their atmosphere. They had an amazing crowd. I was hoping we come out with the win, but somebody had to lose. It was a great game. Glad we got it out of the way early. But the ACC is it's a tough league. And I played in two conferences, SEC and ACC, but the
Right.
ACC is just different. You know what I mean? I'm not really sure how to describe the difference, but if you know, you know. So,
Let me toss this up at you and tell me what you think, because I work
okay.
in both leagues and I've been around the game a long time. The SEC is big and physical on the front line, long and athletic, really
Yes.
good post play, really good on the glass, really good defensive teams. I think the ACC has really good guard play. Not to discount that there's not good guards in the SEC, but there seems
Right.
to be more guards. How would you assess that comparison, or do you think that's way off?
No, I think that's pretty spot on because just looking at the SEC and like I said, playing in the SEC, they're definitely bigger and more physical. Even playing in South Carolina my freshman year, I got teammates like Camila Cardosa and Aaliyah Boston. They're just huge. You know what I mean? And then like even ACC, we have River Baldwin and she's big too. But focusing on the guard play, I will say there are just so many big time guards discussed just on the ACC side. So I think that's a pretty good way to describe it.
South Carolina has led the nation in attendance. I want to say like 9 or 10 years. So they have a packed house. You've experienced that. You experienced playing as a number one team in the country in front of a crowd like that. Now
Yeah.
you've got a top five team playing in a sold out environment every time. Uh, it's not a small gym, but it 5,500 people in, and they're loud and they're excited about the way you guys play.
Yeah.
Uh, what does that feel like? Like, can you put that in perspective?
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. Like we created that. We weren't selling out every game last year, but from the tip from the season, us winning games has brought back that home atmosphere again, that winning atmosphere. And people, they want to support that and they want to be there to see it. So games like UConn and Florida State when, sellout crowds and, they're just big games and like the fans are just so into it. And you could tell that they're really passionate and really care and love and support us and want to be there. And they're just going to continue to do that as long as we continue to win. So,
As long as you continue to play hard,
yeah,
because I think that's what fans appreciate the most is the connectivity of your team, how hard you guys play, how competitive the games are. And then I always define you as pure joy, Sanaya. I mean, you love playing. You can see it all over your face, and you can see it especially this year with the ball in your hands, running the point. What? Let me ask you a two-part question here. There's two things here: running the point and being responsible for making sure you distribute, but also having a feel for the game based on not just time and score, but the fans, because they have to impact pace in some way. Do you feel
absolutely.
the fans while you're managing the team?
Okay, so to answer the first part, running point guard is not easy. It's not easy at all at this level. Um, Coming into college, I didn't want to play point guard. I ran away from point guard, but Don Staley told me if I want to be on the court, you're going to run the point guard. So, of course, to get those minutes, I had to do what I had to do. And now I'm at NC State, seeing last year when Diamond was injured, I had to, step into that role. I didn't have much choice. And now it's like I love it. I'm confident. I'm comfortable running the point. I'm comfortable with the ball being in my hands to distribute to my teammates. And then to answer the other part, as far as the fans impacting it, um, they fans. So the thing about fans is just like if you're at another team's gym, they're gonna speed you up. If the fans are into it and loud and the
Yeah.
atmosphere is, it's hard to stay composed. But as a point guard, you have to find a way to tap into that. Whether you just have to look at your coach to get a head nod, like you got this, or whether you have to tap into that role yourself. But whatever it is, you have to figure it out quick because fans can either, add they can stress you out, or you can
Yeah.
just, put them off and do your thing. So
And then one for me about Wes, because I think Wes has a brilliant offensive mind, and I think he has the ability to put every person on your team in a position to succeed, especially when your offense is in front of his bench in the second half.
Mm.
How much do you hear Wes, and how much on the same page, especially during those moments when it's really intense, that you and Wes are connected on, exactly what needs to happen?
Man, we don't even have to wait until the second half to be by the bench to hear him. Even if it's a sold out crowd, you're gonna hear Westmore. Like there, you're gonna hear him. But just he. Let me see. We talk a lot in the timeout, so we plan ahead of stuff because in those environments when it's too loud, you don't know if you're going to be able to hear what you're saying. You don't know if you're going to hear a play call. So you just have to keep turning back to see the hand signals. Hand signals, we definitely take pride in those because, like you mentioned, we're not always going to hear what he's saying. But we make sure that we lock in timeouts just so that we know if they switch to defense, we know what to run. If they go in man, we know what to run. If they press, we know what to run. So we really just lock in timeouts. I say that's the biggest thing.
I think Wes has an incredible staff. Each person on the staff adds something a little bit different and unique to help the team win. But I
Absolutely.
think you have a secret weapon in Brandon Miller.
Oh man.
Brandon knows everything about every player and every system in the league. When you're talking to Brandon or watching film, or you're gleaning whatever info off of him, because he's one of the first people I go to visit when I have NC State. When
Mhm.
when you have a secret weapon like that, I'm not sure it's that big of a secret anymore. How much does that impact your readiness?
Yeah, it's definitely not a secret. Everyone knows that Brandon is the best at what he does, but he's definitely a big weapon. He locks in day and night on scouts so that it can make it easier for our jobs, on the court. He knows every play call. He's yelling it when we're on defense. It's a blessing to have him. I don't know how he does it. Like I know that there is no way
Yeah.
I would be able to do that, but he puts in so much blood, sweat, and tears into what he does, and we definitely appreciate him.
Because NC State is having a heck of a year and they're on the uptick, and people, media, coaches, whatever, pick the team to finish eighth. There's a lot of basketball left in front of us, but it's one of the best stories in the whole nation that you were able to knock off the number two and the number three team early and sit on top of the ACC standings right now. Uh, if you were going to send a message to the fans at NC State and tell them how much their impact has meant to you and your team, what would you say to them?
I would just tell them that we appreciate them and love them, and that their impact on the season is partly the reason why we're here. We couldn't do it without them, couldn't do it without their continuous support, and we just hope that, like you said, they continue to reward our hard work and wins. So,
Well, I'm having a great time watching you guys play, and I love covering your team. And I'm excited to be back in Reynolds in February to be able to watch you guys take on all the great talent in the ACC. So thank you, Saniya, for being on Nothing But Net. It's always a pleasure to see you, and it's fun to share some enthusiasm with you for the game.
absolutely, I can't wait. We always have good conversations when you're at Reynolds. Can't wait to see you.
You make me better, Saniya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie.